Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Andrew McCart, iFLTV, and I'll tell you what, it's been a minute, Mr. Dave Allen. The last time I spoke to you, it seems we used to speak to each other years and years ago, all the time on a regular, but now we don't speak to each other anymore. How's things?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I think the quieter I am, the better, really. Life's better now. You're still in that boxing bubble, and it really is that. You're not in. I weren't in the real world for a long time. It's crazy. It's a mad life. But I'm much happier now. But yeah, I had a good run at it. But yeah, I prefer the life I'm in now. I've been kicked out of the living room. I've had to sit in here away from the kids because they don't shut up and they won't let me turn the telly off. So yeah, I much prefer where I'm at now. Yeah.
Is that like me? I've got kids, and sometimes fatherhood can change you because you can. I don't know what it is, but when you become a dad, you've got a responsibility there that it's not just all about you anymore. You've got responsibility, and you've got to look after this small little thing that you brought into the world. Is it fatherhood that's made you feel like this?
Yeah, I think so. I was always searching for responsibility. I used to train Danny Morel. He was young when I first started training him, and then I started training other kids, and I needed responsibility really. Till my mid-20s, I was a proper car crash, and then mid-20s to my late 20s, I was just a bit of a mess. So it got progressively better, but now yeah, everything's good. Just growing up, yeah, the kids obviously play a major a factor in that. My nan passed away. Yeah, so all these things that happen in life. That's how life works, though, isn't it? You're meant to mature and develop, and I have, and I'm more than a boxer now. Everything was boxing. I was just a boxer, and my life was boxing. I was only a boxer to people. Now I'm a dad. So yeah, really happy though, mate. To be honest, everything's amazing. Yeah.
Good. Well, you're still boxing. I will come on to that at the end. On July 13th, I believe you've got a fight, and you've still got young fighters that you train and you help out. Is it Stevie Levy as well, and the Hayden as well? You've got young fighters that you still help train. So we will touch on that in the end. But the reason why I wanted to speak to you, Dave, is obviously you're in a unique position because you're one of very few people that shared the ring, albeit sparring, but you have shared the ring with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So before we break it down properly, give me your immediate thoughts on this fight on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think I first started sparring Tyson 2013 up until 2018. I know Tyson a long time. Tyson was a friend of mine. Not that we fell out. Obviously, just went to America after 2018. I've not seen him, I don't think, since 2018. Obviously, a friend of the family, and I always thought it was the best heavyweight in the world, always, from day one. I remember sparring in 2013. I think he was getting ready for David Haye. And I thought it was the best fight I've ever seen at the time. But I've not really sparred the top ones at that point. I sparred Joshua as an amateur, but I thought it was exceptional. And then as the years went on, uh, before Klitschko and Jordan around the Klitschko time, I thought, wow. I went to spar Klitschko. I came home. I said to Tyson, "You'll beat Klitschko. You'll box his head off." And he said, "Yeah, I know." And then he went on and did that. And obviously, then he had a few years out and came back and beat Wilder. So yeah, since 2013, I thought it was the best heavyweight in the world. 2020, I went to spar Usyk in Ukraine. Um, and then when I sparred him, another wow moment. I've had two really. I've had two wow. I'm in the ring with two fighters in my life and thought, wow, like wow, this is high level shit. And I was talking about sparring Tony Bellew earlier. Tony Bellew was fucking unbelievable, really. I think people underestimate how good he was. Um, Anthony Joshua again, unbelievable. The list goes on and on. I sparred all of them. Clinton Ward's, other world champions, but Usyk in Ukraine. I did 2 minute rounds the first day, and I thought, what the fuck was that? I got out of the ring. I think I did 6-2, and I got out of the ring. And I thought, what the fuck just happened there? Mental. It was the first day, and it was like, look, go steady and do it for me. He was fucking all over the place. He was behind me at one point. I thought, how the fuck's he got there? So yeah, the two moments of my career, I sparred brilliant fighters, Bellew, Joshua, brilliant, but them two really just like wow. I remember thinking, wow, Like this is proper mad shit. So so yeah, I've been waiting for this fight for a long time. I've been saying to people, I think this fight's come a little bit late. I understand they've had obligations, they've had to pick up the belts along the way. But for me, these have been the best two heavyweights, you know, since Usyk beat Joshua the first time. That's when I would have liked to have seen it. Fury's got a lot of miles on the clock with the Wilder fights, a lot of question marks after the Ngannou fight, and Usyk isn't getting any younger, and I think he's naturally a cruiserweight, which you know the aging process happens a little bit quicker. And I know he's still a big man, but I worry that they're both not as good as they once was. But they are still 1 and 2. I also said that they're not 1 and 2 anymore. They are 1 and 2 in terms of the ratings. There's no disputing that. They've got all the belts. They beat everybody. But I'm just not sure that the peak of the powers right now. And I think a lot of it will come down to what they've got left. So I'm glad we're doing this. I did an interview yesterday. I didn't get my reasoning across for what I was saying. So they are 1 and 2. I'm just not sure they are the best heavyweights in the world right now. I think there's people out there that could beat them both. So my reasoning behind them not being the best is that they're not the actual best heavyweights in the world right now, but they are definitely 1 and 2 because they beat everybody, and I hope that makes sense because it makes perfect sense to me.
If you don't mind me asking, then Dave, then who would you say is the guys that could beat them right now, and who is like not the top guys right now in your mind?
I think Usyk is a small, not a small man. Usyk is a small heavyweight. His best years are behind him. I could name you 3 or 4 heavyweights. I'm not saying there's a line of 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one, you might like this one, and people will think I'm crazy, but Martin Bakole, for me, stands out as someone to beat Usyk because it's all styles. Boxing is all a stylistic game, really. You know, it's a mad game, and Bakole, for me, Usyk would be made for him. And people are going to think I'm crazy, you know. But Bacall is the real deal. I don't like saying that because Billy Nelson, but that's another matter anyway. Um, but yeah, Bacall, all these big young fresh heavyweights, they're a problem when you're getting old. I'm 32. I feel old as shit. So can't imagine being 37. But he's a genius, and I would hate for anyone to think I'm talking bad about him because I'm not. But I just think they're not as good as they were. I just think but I'm glad it's happening. And whoever wins, this is my way of putting it. I'm going around in circles, but the loser will retire. I don't think there's any doubts about that. And I think the winner may retire. So you can't tell me they're at the peak of the powers when they're thinking that when the winner and loser will probably retire. How can you tell me that at the peak of the powers and this is the best they've ever been? They can't be, otherwise I wouldn't be talking of retirement.
I want to go back to the Bacoli thing. Now, have you obviously heard about the sparring rumors? Well, it's not so much a rumor. Billy Nelson and Bacoli have both said to me that it's true, and Bacoli did stop Usyk in a spar, and we know that he's maybe susceptible to the body shots. We've seen it with Daniel Dubois, whether you think it was a low blow or not. We've seen Derek Chisora go at the body with him. We've seen Joshua in the second fight go to the body and hurt him in the body. So that being said, do you think Tyson Fury's game plan going in here is to manhandle Usyk and just tag that body wherever he can?
I hope not, because I think that'd be the wrong way of going about it. I've inspired Usyk and Tyson. If you want success with these, in my opinion, you have to play them at their own game.
Mm-hmm.
They're both control freaks. I'm not talking personal. I'm not talking about the personal life. I'm talking boxing. They make you do what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what boxing's all about. You know, you got to get them playing to your tune. So, you know, it's like when Tyson used to come to the gym, he'd be loud as anything, and he'd put you in your box. When the sparring partners would be sat there, like just sat waiting about for him for half an hour. He'd turn up loud, and he'd all go, "Oh God, he's here." And he'd get in the ring and he'd do his thing, and he'd mesmerize you with his movement and and how he'd act, and he'd get you doing what he wanted you to do. If he wanted you to follow him, you'd follow him, and he'd hit you, and you'd plod along, and that's how smart they are. And Usyk the same. Any success I had with either man was when I would try and frustrate them. To be honest, and they're both they're light years better than me, so I think they can really frustrate each other. I think the man that gets the other one chasing and frustrated will win this fight. I really do. I think this will be a one-sided victory for Tyson Fury. I think it's a landslide points win, in my opinion. I think the size will be a factor, but I don't think the size. People are thinking weight. I'm thinking reach and height, and I think we'll see Tyson from the Klitschko fight.
You just
I
answered.
really.
You just answered to my question there, because I was going to ask who would you pick, and I was going to say to you, are we looking too much into what Tyson's looking like right now? Because it looked like he's lost a lot of weight, and people are speculating that it might be trying to match Usyk's speed a little bit. But again, you just think that we're looking too much into that, and that's not going to play a factor.
Yeah, I don't think. I think weight is a factor because Tyson needs to be light. He needs to be light to move. I think he's going to be on the move for 12 rounds. I think he's going to get Usyk chasing. I think we're going to see a bit of a masterclass, to be honest. He has to have the legs to do that. There's questions again, has he got the legs to do that? The Ngannou fight was shocking. He wasn't in shape. But if he's still got the legs, he's too big and, in my opinion, too good, to be honest.
How would you, obviously you sparred Usyk, right? And it's all we've seen the shot that he landed, and you made it public and stuff like that. But if you were to face Usyk yourself, what would be your tactics going in? What would be your game plan? Would it be that body?
It's difficult for me because I'm not Tyson Fury. I don't have that ability. I don't have that size. I don't have them tools in my arsenal. But so I would obviously come at it from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
When I sparred him, movement. To be honest, I think movement, lot feints, movement. You want to wind him up. I was winding him up on the last spar. I was having a great spar. It was amazing. They actually told me if the box Tyson Fury, I would come back. So yeah, it was a trickery. I think Tyson knows this as well. Tyson will know. You know, I don't know Sugar Hill, but John, don't let the silliness with the headbutting fool you. And Shane, they're very clever. He knows not to walk onto Usyk. He knows not to. I genuinely think if Tyson legs haven't gone and his punch distance haven't gone, it's gonna be a pretty one-sided, I think.
I'm glad you touched on that John Fury thing, because I need to ask you now. If people followed your career from the beginning, we all know that Dave Allen, you liked a little bit of theatrics and you liked a little bit of a showmanship beginning of fight week, whether it be the press conference, the weigh-in, and whatnot. So, what did you make of John Fury and what he did on Monday there?
Well, it's not showmanship, really. It's not showmanship. It's stupidity. And I like John. John's probably a mate of mine, but ridiculous. You know, if me or you were doing that, we'd be locked up now in Saudi. So it's stupidity. I didn't like to see it. I don't see it. I don't respect it. Hopefully, this is about Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Everyone else is just a bit part player. Not even bit part players. There to support the man that they're supporting. So I didn't like it, but really, I don't care for all that stuff anymore. Which is why no one hears from me. I'm not interested in all that stuff now. That's kids stuff, So he should know better. But he knows his stuff. He's a boxing man. And he does know his stuff. And I think I think that lets him down what he did the other day, because he's very he knows his boxing, but people now will just see that and just people you see what people are saying about him, but he knows his stuff. He does know his stuff.
Well, Carl Froch and Tony Bellew being two of them, they've said their piece about it as well. And yeah, I get where you're coming from on that. But talking about you then, Dave, you do have a fight July 13th, and we know that this Saudi Arabia Riyadh season, I mean, they love heavyweights. Now, you fought the best, you sparred the best. Will we ever? I know you got a July 13th date coming up, a little 4-rounder, I believe it is. But is there a small part of you that wants a piece of that action out in Saudi?
You know what? It's not really come into my thinking. I watched the Fraser Clark interview, yeah, before the Wardley. He must have been. I watched it 8 days ago. Anyway, he sat there, yeah, and he's like, Dave Allen fight was easy, too easy, and all this. It weren't easy for him because he wouldn't have been punching me low. Now, I don't want to fight Fraser Clark again. Like, the fight with Wardley was amazing. I've got no problem with him. But this interview in particular really got my back up. So I'm sat upstairs watching it. I thought, you know what, fuck this. Went downstairs, jumped on the scales, 21 stone 4. And I thought, you can't let people talk like this. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't irritated at him. A lot of it was at myself. I thought, you can't be letting people talk like this because you're better than this. So went out for a run and I thought, you know what? Tomorrow is the day. It's going to begin. I've done 80 days, no takeaways, no chocolate, no crisps. I'm about 18 stone. I'm going down to Bridgeweight. I'm going to 16 stone 4. If I can get Johnny Fisher on the way, amazing. But if not, I would like to target the Bridgeweight title, to be honest. I don't think I'm big enough. I'm definitely not good enough to be heavyweight champion of the world, but I'm not big enough to compete with the really good ones. And due to probably laziness more than anything else, I never wanted to accept that. But this is really the last go round. So yeah, down to 16 stone 4.
The WBA as well, they've got a weight class down there as well. So it's the WBC
Yeah.
and the WBA. So
Alan Babbitt's boxed for the Bridgeweight World title. If Alan Babbitt can box for the Bridgeweight World title, there's no reason I can't either. So yeah, at the minute I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself there. You know, I've only had one fight, 4 rounder, but I feel really good. I'm enjoying it. I know I can box, and it's all been said before. So just want to keep getting in shape. If I get down to 16 stone 4, we'll have a good run at it. If not, I think the Johnny Fisher fight makes a lot of sense for me and for him. But yeah, I'm at a different point in my life at the moment. I don't want to fall out with anybody. You know, I just want to have a nice life at home with my kids, to be honest. So yeah.
no, that's good. That's absolutely good to hear because, like I said to you, we used to have interviews all the time when you were fighting in Newcastle and whatnot. And we all know the antics. It's good to see a nice, humble, respectful Dave Allen. It's refreshing for me because a small part of me when I jumped on this interview was thinking I'm going to get this crazy Dave Allen. But you know what's been? I've enjoyed this conversation because I can get to talk more intricate boxing with you. And when you mentioned there about the Bridgerweight, I'm guessing you're going to have one keen eye on Lawrence Okoli and Lucas Radansky, are you?
You know what? Being completely honest, Lawrence Okoli, I would never want to box Lawrence Okoli. I sparred Lawrence Okoli once. Mate, he wrapped me up in knots, to be honest. He's awkward, horrible, strong.
Long, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying wrap me up. I'm not trying to say he's a hugger or he's this or he's that. He's a high level operator and a big puncher, super strong. He's not really on my radar, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie about things. I don't want to go into fight. The Fraser Clark fight was upsetting for me because it was embarrassing.
Mm.
Like I said earlier, he was struggling come round 5 because I'm very strong and awkward and I'll make you work and I'm not doing too much. But it was poor. It was still poor because I never got going. You know, he was getting tired and I couldn't do anything. Been out the ring a long time. I wasn't in the proper condition. I embarrassed myself. I'm not interested in being embarrassed again. I'm not interested in being out of my depth. So Lawrence Okoli for me, stylistically all wrong, and he's a high level operator. So not really, no. Babic, Rosansky, these other guys, these basic. I'm not saying the basic. I'm not saying basic in terms of the average because they're not. They're very good fighters, but basic 1-2, hands up, chin down, brilliant. Sue me down to the ground. I'll give you some exciting fights, win or lose. Lawrence Okoli, you know, these other guys, probably a level or 2 above me, you know. But your Fisher at the minute, Fisher I think is going to go very far. Fisher right now, you know, your Babic's and a few others. Yeah, I can compete. I can minimum compete. So you know, get a couple more wins and if able, I'd love to compete with them guys and put some good fights on, win or lose. So yeah, I'm realistic. I wasn't realistic before. I was a fool, you know, boxing Ortiz and White on a few weeks' notice. If I was managing a 24-year-old heavyweight now, I'd be saying, mate, you're crazy. Grow up, don't do it. But I was kind of looking after myself at the time, hot-headed. And you realize, I think managing fighters as well and training fighters, I kind of thought, why am I not doing what they're doing? You know, the Fraser Clark fight was a financial thing. That's the truth. I needed the money, so I took the fight. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't have took the fight because I wasn't ready for it. But financially, I had to because I had another kid on the way. Uh, so yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm not on here plugging a comeback because at the minute it's just for enjoyment. But hopefully it can snowball into some more big fights for me.
To be honest, Dave, I'll end it on this, mate, because I know your style of fighting, and I think when you look at the guys round about your height, the Babic's, the Rodanskis, like you've mentioned there, Johnny Fisher isn't the tallest of heavyweights, but he's got that style. So I can see where you're coming from with those sort of fighters, because you will be an exciting fight. But again, you said there about management and things you did wrong as a fighter yourself. So how are you finding it now that you've got these young kids, these young fighters that you've got under your belt, and you're training them, you're managing them? How's that for you right now?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think when I took out my trainers and managers license, everyone laughed at me and they said, "You can't do this. You're not sensible. You've got problems coming out of your ass." Which at the time I probably did. A lot of personal problems. I was a bit, I was problemed probably, and I was probably the worst self-managed fighter in the country, to be honest. The worst mistake I ever made was not boxing Ortiz and White. The worst mistake was accepting the prize fight and signing it 2 days after beating Brown. That's the worst mistake I ever made, to be honest, because I could have sat on the Brown victory for a few weeks. I could have squeezed way more money out. I took the first offer off Eddie. The first offer for price. Yeah, Parker Room, we don't want this for this. Yeah, whatever, do it. So I was the worst self-managed fighter in the country. I accept that. I know that. I wish I'd have gone somewhere else. I'd have made more money, giving 10, 15, 20% away. So I started managing fighters, and so Stevie Levy came to me at 2-0. She's now boxed for the European title. She won the European silver. She's now boxed for the British and Commonwealth. She's boxed in 3 different countries on his own twice. That's a fucking good job, to be honest. Joe Hayden I met after he had 1 amateur fight and lost it. He's now had 17 fights, amateur and pro, and won them all. He's got 2 fights in the next 8 weeks. That's a good job. I've got another kid who came to me 1 fight and lost it as an amateur. Ended up having 15, winning 12, and now he's turning pro. I had another kid on the verge of going to prison for the rest of his life. Now he's bang out of trouble he's no trouble at all, and he's about to turn pro. That is what it's all about for me. It's all and these kids, I'm not saying they're going to be world champions. Joe Hayden's got a real chance of becoming a British champion. Stevie Levy's about to fight for the British title. The other kids I've got, they're decent. They could do good things. For me, it's about 2 things. My dad said to me, "You're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you." And I said, "You know what, Dad? You're probably right. I am doing it for me. A little half and half. Selfishly, I need these kids as much as they need me, because I need responsibility. Going back to the beginning, I need responsibility. I need these kids. I need them. I need them to come to my house for 2 or 3 hours a day and train, because I need that responsibility. I need to say 4 o'clock, I've got to be up, I've got to do my training, I've got to have the kids sorted, and I've got to be ready for them. That's my responsibility. That's me getting my day in order. But I also love giving them a chance, whether they're keeping them out of trouble or whether that's giving them an opportunity to succeed and make money and have success. Either, I love it. So the managing and training, I love it. I don't love the managing, actually. I hate money. I hate talking about money. Again, I would always accept the first offer. Eddie said, "This for this." Yeah, I don't want to talk about money. So I'm not a great manager. But with Stevie, it works because we've been friends for a long time. The boxer should make the money. The boxer takes the risk. I boxed. I know. I boxed. I self-managed myself. So I didn't want no one taking no money off me. I realized in time I should have got a manager and give some of the money away, but not fucking 25% or whatever. So that's a different tangent I'm going off on. I haven't done an interview in a while, so I'm getting it all off my chest. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know nearly anything, but I'm trying my best, and that's what you can do.
Tell you what, Dave, I'm glad you went on a little rant, because I've enjoyed this. Like I said, I've enjoyed to get your input, and it's been an educated, well thought out input on the Fury Usyk fight, your own career. You've learned from your mistakes, and now I'm happy that you've got these young kids that you're willing to take on and show them the ropes. You've learned from your own mistakes, so you know exactly what to do with these kids. But Dave, I tell you what, thank you so much for this interview, mate. I appreciate it. And it's 25 to 7 right now, so go and enjoy whatever time's left you got with your kids before you put them to bed.
Two last things. Number one, can't put brutal honesty in the thing, because people don't like that no more.
I don't
people
do that. That's not me. That's Coogan. That's Coogan.
And number two, Martin McCauley is shit hot. You probably know that. So anyone that thinks I'm crazy for really, Martin McCauley might be the best heavyweight in the world. But Billy Nelson, I still really don't like him. He don't like me either. I see him slagging me off on Twitter all the time. But I seen Billy in Manchester once, and he was really nice to me. So let's just be friends, Billy. Yeah, because I've really plugged this guy there, and I've really bigged him up there. And I didn't want to. It hurt me to do it, but he's fucking good. So yeah, there we go.
Listen, Billy would like that. I think Billy will actually will be your friend after this, to be honest.
It's the truth. I'm not saying it to kiss anyone's ass, or I just don't want to sound crazy. I'm letting everyone know, like, he's really good. Sadly,
No,
not sadly for him, but you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you said. I've seen him up close and personal, and he is. Yeah, I echo what you're saying, Dave. He is very good, mate. But listen, enjoy the rest of your evening, buddy, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.